Philadelphia, taking a 1-0 lead in the series. The Flyers wish this man were on the ice tonight, but Eric Lindros will be here in the building, but only as a fan. He is skating, could be back by May 23 with the team, but that's not going to help tonight. Welcome, everybody. Gary Thorne along with Bill Clement. We welcome you for Philadelphia, a team that was here. Off the near side, Gagne was taking it up the wall. Simon Gagne has not scored in 4 games. Shot, Adam Burke, side made, rebound, score! Rick Tocchet gets the goal as the puck went through Brodeur.
Well, the man that had to get it going for the Flyers to give them some offensive depth has scored. The Devils were arguing. The Devils were trying to fight their way out of this goal after it was scored, but it looks like it's going to stand. I don't think there's anybody going to ask for a review upstairs, but check the traffic out in front. Brodeur made the save, and it got caught in Tocchet's skate. And as he was backing out of the crease, he banged it home once his skates, I think, were out of the crease. Watch this. And he did not interfere with Brodeur on the first save. So Rick Tocchet, early here in Game 2, is on the board, and that is a positive for the Flyers, not only because it is Tocchet that they needed to get going, but because the Flyers have the lead. They are a better team, as are the Devils, with the lead.
They are 5-0 in the playoffs. Philadelphia is when they score the first goal. And it comes early, just as the Devils had a goal early in the last game. This one comes at 1:38. Tocchet gets his second of the playoff year from Burt and Gagne. So Gagne gets out of that 0 for 4 that he was in with an assist. And Philadelphia's got a 1-0 lead. And perhaps as important, they have ignited their season in the league. McGillney held that one into the corner, gets it back. McGillney moved out in front, shot, hit the side of the net. Alexander McGillney, who's being asked to play defense now, but has been a great goal scorer in his career. Score! Deflected in front. Boucher had no chance on that one. Looked like Gomez got a piece of it, and it is a 1-1 game.
What a tip. What a tip. But the shot from Colin White was deflectable. He made sure he got it on goal. And this is a world-class tip by Scott Gomez. I think it went right across Boucher's body to the low side, the opposite side that Gomez was standing on. I mean, super playing here. McGillney stepped to the front, and then when Ken Manderville pushed it around the boards, Nemchinov missed it. It hit that stick. Berube could not get to Nemchinov, but here's the shot by Colin White. He just got a nice deflectable shot. Oh, you talk about some hand-eye coordination. Watch this. He deflected it right across the body of Brian Boucher, down low to the long side, and made it look easy.
Number 1 rookie scorer in the regular season, Gomez. Deflected that one by to tie this game up. A beauty, 13-23. Gomez gets his 4th of the playoff year, first in this series. White and Nemchinov pick up the assists on the goal, and it is a 1-1 game. So... Welcome back to Philadelphia, everybody. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, Brian Engblom, and our crew in a 1-1 game at the end of the first period here in Game 2, with the Devils having won 4-1 in Game 1. And we were talking about the world. Score! Oh my! 1,000-mile-an-hour laser, and a 2-1 Devils lead.
Here's what happens when you let Jason Arnott have time and space dead center of the ice. Wow, what a laser. Bing, bing. It hit a bunch of metal in there. It was going too fast to tell what in the first part, but here was the turnover right there. Craig Berube brought it out of the Flyers zone, and it slipped off his stick. I think that went post to post. Up high to the stick side, and then off the post to the glove side. Watch this. Bing, bing. Great shot by Jason Arnott, and the Devils lead it 2-1.
He did not have a shot in the first period. He had one here.
You bet. Craig Berube didn't have anything constructive to do with the puck. I think he wanted just to chip it out along the wall and keep it along the wall. Instead, it slipped off his stick and went right to Arnott.
2:51, the time of the goal, an unassisted goal. Jason Arnott's first of this series, 3rd of the playoff year. And the Devils have come back from a 1-0 deficit to score the next 2 goals. Taken out of the play, Tocchet at center. Into the middle, McGillney. Look at the move! McGillney down low. Got taken down, no penalty. but McGillney had gone through too deep. And Chinoff was there and picked up the loose puck. Now moved back out by Tocchet. Delmore with him. Delmore's pass to nobody on the far side as Gagne had moved closer to him in the middle. Trying to hit it up ice. Bobby Olik was already in the zone. McGillney ahead. Olik headed to the bench. Chingord Brosker and Dan Maruelli move in as Daneyko knocked Tocchet down, and then they started a little stand-up tay-to-tay.
Scott Stevens isn't the only big defenseman the Devils have that can move people. Ken Daneyko is another one. That is when Daneyko just cleaned him out. He lost position on him. There was a little kick by Tocchet, then got up, and I've never seen Ken Daneyko or Rick Tocchet kind of skate away from one of these, so you sort of knew that Gord Grosiker, one of the lines, would have. Oh, now they're going at it. Randy McKay and Keith Primo.
McKay and Primo at the other end from out of nowhere.
Oh, Randy McKay had circled everybody and was talking to Primo as everybody came and congregated around Tocchet at the other end. Boy, remember, Keith Primo had a concussion just last Tuesday. That was 1 week ago against the Pittsburgh Penguins. He was doubtful for game 1, but he came back and played. Here he is in game 2, dropping the gloves and having his helmet popped off in a fist fight with Randy McKay.
Two heavyweights going at it right there.
Well, this thing started at the other end and then spread to the far end. Look at Eric Desjardins in there, too, talking to McKay. And then they kind of worked it out as gentlemen do at times. So you want to go? All right, let's go. Dan Shapke, one of the linesmen, skated over and said, okay, this thing's a little too far gone for me to intercede.
It wasn't Hamilton and Burr, but it was pretty good. 8 save made. Deflected off the near side. And cleared out. Here's Elias again. Elias looking. Sikora with him. Elias shot. Score! A 2-on-1. Patrick Elias. And it is a 3-1 Devils lead.
What a play by Elias. The 5th odd man rush in this hockey game for the New Jersey Devils, which tells you there is some room for them. And Larry Robinson is double shifting this line. He has liked so much what he has seen in this period that he has come back with the Elias, Sikora, Arnott line. Arnott hadn't had a chance to make it onto the ice yet because Gomez was stuck out there. Watch this play, though. To the backhand, then right through the legs after he opened up the 5-hole of Brian Boucher. The two guys that you don't want to see coming at you on a 2-on-1. Patrick Elias, Peter Sikora, best friends off the ice, great players on the ice. You talk about chemistry and being welded together on and off the ice. These guys can light them up. But here's a major problem for the Flyers. It was only a 2-1 game. You don't have to take chances. You don't have to open it up and give the other team odd man rushes. We're only in the 2nd period here. But the Devils are able to generate.
One lead. Tocchet looking. Desjardins scores! Eric Desjardins!
Yeah, forget about the power play. We'll get it done 5-on-5. After the Devils had made a real power move along the boards, Bobby Olik took his man. The Flyers were able to regain. And this is what the Flyers have to do. We've seen Scott Niedermayer off ice this entire game, even shorthanded. Eric Desjardins is fast enough to be able to get up into holes like this and pinch in and backdoor plays. There was Olik taking Zelepukin, but Tocchet was the 2nd man there. That was the key. Where's the Devil? Nobody. Eric Desjardins was able to slip by Sergei Brylin, and the Flyers with 38.8 to go in the 2nd period scored what to date is by far their biggest goal in this series. I mean, they only scored 1 in game 1, but this is a biggie right here.
Desjardins in the final minute of the 2nd period makes it a 1-goal game, 3-2, and that will be sent up and into the seats. Desjardins had an open lane coming in from that right point. Nobody picked him up. And it came at 19:21. Tocchet and Zelepukin the assist. So Tocchet's got a goal and an assist tonight.
Well, here's the play that happened along the boards. Can we stop it here for just a second, guys? Nobody went here to pick up Rick Tocchet. You've got Malakoff here. He's watching Peter White. But Malakoff had to go and switch off and let Colin White take Peter White. Let the White boys match up. Instead, Malakoff backed off as if he was still killing the penalty. And Eric Desjardins was able to move in, and he had to know the penalty was over.
It had expired well before. Held in this time by rookie Stevens. Leclaire, they're digging for another one. Langkow moves over. Leclaire, Langkow reached in, took a shot. Stevens gloved it down. Stevens trying to clear it up. Stevens took a hit from Recchi. At center, John LeClair. They try and get on side here. 7 seconds left. Brodeur plays it off the wall. Desjardins will come back to pick it up, and it's a game. We've completed 2 periods. It had been a 3-1 game until 1921. And the centered by Primo. Score! Primo got it out in front. Tocchet's got his second goal, and this game's tied.
Well, you had to know that Craig Ramsay, the Flyers head coach, would play this line a lot here in the 3rd period because Rick Tocchet is finally caught on fire. 3 Devils around him, and he was still able to corral the pass from Keith Primo right here. Check it out. He had red all around him, and Primo was still able to find him. And a 5-hole goal, I think, through the pads of Brodeur. Brodeur never looked like he was set. And Rick Tocchet has 2 goals and 1 assist, and the Flyers are tied.
Rick Tocchet did not have a goal for the last 8 games. He'd had only 1 assist over the last 7.
This had to happen for the Flyers to compete in this series. This line of Primo and Tocchet and Gagne had to get it going. Rick Tocchet fought off one man, and Ken Danico and Scott Niedermayer turned around and just saw the puck coming right through. And actually beat him to the right over his right pad.
And another quick goal. This one at 1:06. Tocchet, second. Third of this. Here comes Langkow. Save! Tocchet! Score! Score! Langkow, I believe it bounced off his body.
The house is a-rocking now. You got about 200 people that have already decided Rick Tocchet scored this goal. The hats are raining here. A rebound. Exactly what the Flyers wanted to do was capitalize on rebounds, but a costly turnover in the neutral zone by Scott Niedermayer that led to Langkow breaking in. What a turnaround. There's no question that goal at the end of the 2nd period boosted the Flyers. It's come out here just fired up. Here comes Scott Niedermayer. Now he tried to make a pass into the middle instead of keeping the play going ahead. Away came Damon Langkow with the right idea. Fired for the rebound. Rick Tocchet pushed his guy, Colin White, into the net. I think the puck went off Colin White.
The goal should be Lankow's. I don't think Tocchet ever touched it, but here in Philadelphia, who cares? Flyers have a 4-3 lead.
I'll tell you something that the players care about right now. Everybody likes to see the fans celebrate.
Danico retaliated for the hit put on Breland by going after Primo at the other end. More blood.
This time it's Breland. Boy, he got his head crushed. Here he was. Dan McGillis took him in. Looked like McGillis took him clean, too. And I don't think it was the second hit that got him. Well, maybe it was. He didn't grab his face until the second hit when he was going on his way down. But I think he lost his helmet on the first hit from McGillis, and then when he went down, he just got his head crunched. The old melon squash.
Breland wanting to know why there was no call. There won't be. The goal change, 158. Langkow gets his first of the series, 5th of the playoffs from Jones.
Right after that hit on Breland, here came Ken Danico on Keith Primo. Look at that. It's like a winter scene. Snowing out there. Big men trying to screech to a halt to get out of the way. But the biggest hit of this game, and the most damaging from a Flyers standpoint, is the one on Damon Langkow, where he was trying to negotiate his way by Brian Rafalski. And as Scott Stevens has done, well, countless numbers of times in his career, coming across the middle, he KO'd Damon Langkow.
Almost on a
to New Jersey in this Eastern Conference Finals series. Sure, the Flyers were down 0-2 to Pittsburgh and came back, but duplicating that feat would be superhuman. Remember, the Flyers have won just 4 of their last 28 games played at the Meadowlands. First things first, the First Union Center for Game 2. Injured Eric Lindros was on hand to inspire, maybe. Game underway. Adam Burt, the shot. Martin Brodeur, the save. Rick Tocchet there to put in the rebound. Tocchet's second goal of the playoffs, just 1:38 into the game. Later in the first, Daniel McGillis crushing Bobby Holik, a sign of things to come. Second period now 2-1 Devils. Elias bringing the puck up 2-on-1. Elias, that's his fourth goal of the playoffs. Nice play and to put New Jersey up 3-1. Check it out again. Patrick Elias right through the legs of Brian Boucher. Good placement. Second period winding down. Devils still up 3-1. Tocchet. Rick Tocchet, the agitator, to Eric Desjardins, who beats Brodeur. Desjardins' second goal of the playoffs comes with 37 seconds left in the second. Now down 1. Third period early. Keith Primo to Tocchet. Pass Brodeur. What a span of time, and Tocchet made it happen, tying it at 3 with the second goal of the game. Less than a minute later, Damon Langkow on the break. Langkow's slapper blocked by Brodeur, but deflected in by Tocchet. At least the crowd thought so, but thinking it was a hat trick, you know, they thought Rick got all 3 goals. Not to be. Look at it again. Langkow's shot goes off the Devils' Colin White. Langkow will be credited with the goal, and the Flyers are up 4-3. Shortly after, Scott Stevens takes it out on Langkow with a big hit. Langkow left the game, 17 stitches, and did not return. Then McGillis. And a hit on Sergei Brylin, and then pushes Brylin's head into the boards. And when Brylin came up for air, there was blood. Later in the third, still 4-3 Flyers, the Devils' John Madden. His right knee collides with Primo's. An MRI is scheduled for Wednesday on Madden. He's the Devils' defensive specialist. He would be a huge loss. There's the final, a big win for the Flyers, 4-3. For the Devils, just their third loss in 12 playoff games, a loss orchestrated by Rick Tocchet. Let's review. It's important. Tocchet scored twice, set up another, and crashed the net at the same time Damon Langkow was scoring the game winner. Brian Boucher stopped 30 shots. The Eastern Finals now even. Game 3 Thursday on ESPN in New Jersey. As for reaction to Game 2,
I think we needed to get in their face a little bit. I don't know if it's so much our team. I think everybody's giving Jersey too much respect. They're a great hockey team, don't get me wrong, but so are we. You know, we've gone through a lot of adversity, and I said after the first game, and guys, everybody's cutting us out. This is a good booster for us. Hey, we're still back in the series.
We seemed to, for some reason, fall asleep a little bit. You know, we let Desjardins get back door, and then it started the third. We all fell asleep a bit for a couple of goals, and that's going to happen in the playoffs. It's unfortunate, but you know, we still have to feel good going back 1-1.
We knew it was going to get ugly before it was over because they're a gritty team. You know, we know that. We know they're a big, strong, physical hockey club, and we have to match that. And tonight we were able to, and we just have to make sure we're ready to match it again Thursday.
Devil fans, prepare yourself. The Devils have never won a playoff series when they lost Game 2 after winning Game 1. 0-4 when that happens, including the 1994 Classic Eastern Conference Final Series against the Rangers, which was decided in double OT in Game 7. A game you've probably seen many times on ESPN Classic. More later on the Flyers win.